What's going on, people? I am Swaver, and this is the Opinionated Facts Media Group podcast. I'm joined by Journey Great and Coco Love. Illuminated Lenses want to be off today. It's just us. So, on this podcast, our mission is to build better relationships through using the power of conversation within our community. We were having a conversation earlier, and we were just talking about just being sick of the shit, man. And we're trying to start a new series that we're going to have where we're going to have certain episodes in our sick of the shit section. And today we're going to kick that off with Journey, man. She want to share a story with us about just being sick of the shit. So go ahead. What is it?
Okay, so I recently was having a conversation with a friend of mine. We haven't talked in years, but both of us, we kind of bonded because both of us have kids that are athletes. Mine play football, hers play basketball. And of course, she, always going to the game, supporting or whatever. Their father is always at the games too. They have been separated for years. So the father has moved on. He's in a brand new relationship. The woman he got with, she has her own children. So they don't want one another. They just go support their children like a decent co-parent relationship should go. However, she mentioned to me that she's on the verge of snapping on this new, stepmom or whatever, because she's like, when they do go to the game, she comes in, she speaks to everyone. And however, the stepmom basically doesn't open her mouth. Her children won't open their mouth. And so she's basically on the verge of going off. And she was asking me my opinion. Should she address her ex about the situation to see what the problem may be? Or should she just go ahead and cuss this lady out? So, and she's sick of this shit. So what do y'all suggest would be the best way to handle this?
To me, not speaking is a big deal. I've been around people before that I don't care for or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that I've had issues with, words with. But when I walk into the room and if you're there, I am going to speak to you. And I've been around people that don't speak when they come in or whatever. I can't stand that. I think it's very rude. And for me to not speak to you or whatever, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to rumble. Okay.
Right.
So I don't care what it is, like what the kids say is up or whatever. So for me, if I come in and I speak to you and you don't speak back, I'm thinking you got a problem. So
right.
I think because children are involved or whatever, the best thing to do would be to talk to him first, just to get like some insight. Like, is there an issue? Because maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not an issue. Maybe like she's just rude. Like maybe she just wasn't raised with good manners. And, maybe she doesn't.
The old people say just half raised.
Yeah.
Half raised. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe she just isn't aware that, I don't see how you can't be though, but maybe she just isn't aware that her looking stank and not speaking when someone speaks to her is off-putting. So, maybe he could kind of pass it on to her like, hey, so, she asked about, you, she thought maybe y'all might have a problem, whatever. And then she might actually, because maybe she hadn't talked to him about it either. And she might be like, I do have a problem with that bitch. I don't like how or whatever. And then maybe that could be the beginning of some type of
coming to the resolution,
to Jesus meeting, because it shouldn't be like that. I don't understand that if they really don't have no feelings for one another, it shouldn't be no problem like that unless she just feeling threatened or something.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, man. If I have children with a young lady and we were in that scenario, I'm not gonna be like just overly friendly to the other guy. I'm not gonna be necessarily rude, but I'm pretty sure he may pick up on the fact that I'm not necessarily trying to be friends either, and maybe that may make him feel some type of way. But it just depends. I mean, it's easy to say that when you're on the outside looking in because you don't have any feelings attached to it. But it's so many factors in that. She could be jealous. Then again, she may not necessarily be jealous. Maybe she just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, maybe they've had issues in their own relationship. And so now she's like, he might be lying to me. They may have something else going on. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what is in her mind. So her not responding may not necessarily be a reason for her to be jumped on because, playing devil's advocate, maybe she has a reason. Maybe it's something that we don't know, a piece of the information that's missing. But yeah, if I was to proceed, yes, I would first go to him. But sometimes it might even be better to go to her because, it just depends on how you approach it.
It depends on that person too, though, because if she does have a problem, some women, they just be waiting on you to say something, I don't know. It's weird.
So when your friend was asking you about this, Jordan, what advice would you give?
I understood where she was coming from. And I did think about telling her, to talk to to the father first. And she said it's been going on for years. So I do get you her want to be like, bitch, what's your problem? I get that as well. But the adult thing to do, especially, like I said, kids are involved and you don't want to try to create that type of environment with the kids, whatever. I think the best thing, like Coco said, would probably be to address him first and see if he can provide any insight as far as what's going on.
Are the kids aware of this?
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Are the kids aware?
Have they noticed the tension?
Yeah.
As far as I know, they haven't mentioned it to her. As far as well, why does Miss So and So act like that? I don't think they haven't came to her, specifically and said anything.
My concern would be too, if I was her, just thinking about it a little deeper, my concern too, you got a problem with me, you might have a problem with my kids. And that's really what you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that would be my concern too. You know what I'm saying? Do we have a problem? Because I think it really does need to be addressed in some kind of way or whatever, because you're dealing with kids, and especially if it was little kids or something like that. What's going on? Because I personally don't want to go to jail.
Right?
It's just me, and that's one surefire way for me to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like he was saying or whatever though, it could be other things. It's probably nothing to do with your friend or whatever, but you got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? You got to use your common sense and just kind of put whatever you got going on aside and just at least be cordial. No matter
what.
What.
And I just think that's just being decent to one another. I'm pretty sure she's not wanting to go out and have drinks and go shopping with the lady.
Yeah.
Just if we're here supporting my child, act like you want to be here. And on top of that, just a simple hello, that's not going to kill you.
So, this is actually very common, the co-parenting stuff and especially with issues concerning, when other people come into play. When I say other people, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have two people that had a child, and you have another person that, is not attached to the child, but attached to one of the people that had the child. And this is very common. I've seen stuff like this happen before too, but a lot of times it happens when the children are very young. It doesn't seem to be an issue, especially when children get a little bit older. So I think, just go and talk to him first, I would say, as the advice to her. And then if that didn't work, I would just go directly to her, but just be aware of how I'm coming. So to our good people out there now, listeners, have you guys been in some type of situation like this? If so, let us know. Write in the comments below. Hit us up. Tell us your story. Come on the show. Talk to us, because people need your help, as we can see. But it's very real, y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening. I'm Swaver, joined by Journey to Be Great and Coco Love. And, he's here sometimes he's not. I don't want to talk about him too bad while I'm here. But anyway, this is the Opinionated Factsmgr Group podcast. And until next time, peace.